around, or is he still just doing enough to get the job done? We've seen him build into form in tournaments, and especially in the last month or so, we've seen Marcuzo just be very active, qualifying for all these events, playing well for Champions Major, and playing well, of course, in E-Nations, the Danish Super League, or everything basically leading into eChampions League.
You can see on the screen here all the rounds going into this round 7. So everyone on the screen here has a 3-3 record, meaning this is crunch time. Everyone else has already either gone through or gone out. Some great matchups here. For me, the ones jumping out, obviously you've got Joxan versus Veni. One of them's going home. We've got Tor versus Christian Spiteri, and Doni versus Dulster. That's United States versus Spain. Of course, we've got Dagnuolf versus Marcuzo as well, which is the game we're going to be looking at. Interesting thing for Marcuzo for me thus far is, no disrespect to the people he's played or people he's beaten, but every time he's come up against a name, a recognised name in the pro scene, he struggled. I mean, he's lost to Didi Crislito, he's lost to Marv, he also lost to Paps, who isn't that much of an established name in the UK scene, but we've seen him a few times, saw him at the EPL. I feel like he's not really rising his game when it matters. And yes, okay, Dagnuolf's not the biggest name at the moment anyway. He might secure victory here, but if he does, he's going to have to beat someone decent if he's going to get to this last 8. I'm not sure we're going to see it from Marcuzo, unless he proves me wrong.
He could prove you wrong, and I'm just liking the name Dagnuolf. It sounds like it's a hybrid between like a wolf and I don't know what the other one is. Yeah, but I like it, dude. I think it's good. Like, think if you went out and you're like, hey, how are you? My name's Dagnuolf. Okay, that's memorable.
But it doesn't mean he's good at FIFA. That's the question.
Well, I mean, he's here 3-3.
He's 3-3.
Everything to play for.
Yeah, 3-3 is not a bad position to be in, obviously. It means you get the most game time. Traditionally, sometimes in Swiss formats, everyone plays all the Swiss games. Even if they've already got their ticket to the next knockout round, they'll play against people for seeding. We've not seen that. Interesting, actually, I was walking around the booths earlier and I saw F2 Tex playing a friendly with Nicholas, because it was the 5th round. He'd already gone through. There was only 4 guys that had gone through. That was Nicholas Maestro, Tex, obviously, and MS Dasari. So the only people they could play in friendlies were each other, because everyone else was busy. So I was curious to see if those guys wanted to play each other in friendlies, give any secrets away, if you like, or if they were keeping it stum. But Tex was playing Nicholas in a particularly lively friendly there. So they're obviously giving a little bit of their secrets away, aren't they?
I mean, at this point, with those 4, everybody's seen them play against each other or play a lot on stream. It's not hard to do a bunch of research there in terms of watching guys that have won events time and time again.
Yeah, okay, well, we're going to go into the game now. We know it's Marcuzo versus Dagnuolf. This is the big game, guys. Elimination match. Winner goes through, loser goes out. You can see the 2 players there facing off. We are into the game, okay? We have Dagnuolf in the white here. We've got Marcuzo on the ball here, sorry, in the white. Dagnuolf is in the yellow. So, Marcuzo has been dispossessed by Dagnuolf. Salve Dagnuolf, to use his full name. Now, these through balls I'm seeing a lot of, Mike, and particularly someone I'm seeing use them really well is Maestro. Not seeing him go with the classic crossing meta, a lot of the balls through the middle. Is that something that's coming to the game a little bit later, because these threaded through balls seem quite effective at the moment?
It depends how well you're reading the game. If you're seeing the match by a half step or even a full step ahead of your opposition, especially if you're looking to do things in terms of building up with a narrow attack or even narrow defending, it can be a beneficial way to score goals, but you have to be seeing the game a little bit quicker, because you're hoping to rush your opponent. You're hoping to create those gaps. If it's the only way that you're going to be able to build up, I think it's a little too one-dimensional. But it's a matter of player-to-player basis. For me, I need to have some of that width.
Okay, so it's a free kick here for Dagnuolf in a decent area in the first 8 minutes of this game. He's got 3 players standing over it. First leg, of course. It's going to be Marcelo that plays it sideways to Mbappe, who gets a shot off on his weaker foot, and it is closed down there by the Marcuzo defender. Now, we talk a lot about Marcuzo's use of the La Croqueta, and it is a very effective thing for him, very effective move, but he's got more than that in his locker, hasn't he?
Absolutely, and this is a big reason that we talk about, is Marcuzo in full form, or are we getting him at a B level, or C level, or D level, or so forth and so on? Mainly because he wants to have those intricate passes, he wants to have those intricate skill moves, and you have to be seeing the game a little bit faster than your opponent. You have to be almost with a rhythmic approach if you want to have your best build-up.
Now, we talked about the fact that Marcuzo hadn't really beaten any of the bigger names he come up against. Chance here! Not the best shot for Dagnuolf, which brings me nicely into Dagnuolf's performances, you know. Who's he played? Who's he got his 3-3 record against? He lost his first game 5-2 to Lord Yort. Then he lost 5-0 to Dulster. Then he actually won a game 6-2 dangerous defending here from Dagnuolf. He won a game 6-2 against Elias N97. He then won 2-1, making him 2-2 against Hedegaard. He then won 5-3 against RRQ Eggsy, lost 6-5 against Nightwatch, which booked Nightwatch's place in the knockout round and meant that Dagnuolf had to go to this 3-3 matchup. So you'd have to say Marcuzo's had a tougher route, I'd say, to this particular 3-3 situation. I wouldn't say, with the exception of maybe Dulster on current form, Dagnuolf's really had to come up against any of the big boys just yet. Do you think that's fair?
I think it's a fair way of looking at it. I don't think either of these players have the highest strength of schedule, so to speak, in terms of their oppositions that they've matched up against.
Here we go, chance for Marcuzo getting those La Croquetas out. Goes it back to Vieira here, but the pass isn't great. Hullet recovers it. Great first touch. Oh, how's he still got the ball? How has he done that? R9 Ronaldo.
Classic Marcuzo.
Found a gap in that defence, but it looked like 2 or 3 times during that sequence, Mike, that he'd overplayed it and he was going to get tackled.
Not if you're Marcuzo, but I agree with you. It's hard to say with some of the La Croquetas. I thought he did one too many there, but it worked out. It's a goal, so who am I to speak? But he already had that angle that he needed. He had a little bit of time. He could look up with the goalkeeper. It worked out for Marcuzo. He's up 1-0, 22nd minute, and the pressure is now on Dagnuolf.
I'm wondering if there's an element of luck for him there, or is he just so good at it that he knows the exact angles to work and he can kind of toe that line of putting the ball really close to his defender.
With using the La Croqueta in particular, it does feel like a crapshoot at times where you're almost playing a game of rock, paper, scissors. So you're guessing what your opponent is going to do. Is he going to back off? Is he going to step? Is he going to think that you're going left, or is he thinking that you're going right? And it is very reactive in that regard.
Dagnuolf getting forward here, snapshotting, but deflecting the shot against Varane. And he's going to get a corner here. See what Dagnuolf's got in the locker when it comes to these set pieces. He's going to go towards this man who's free in his space. And what a header it is from Mbappe. Unbelievably finding space and then finding the top corner. And what's going on with the defending there, Mike? Criminal.
Piss poor. He gets baited by the man running to the first post, basically, and it's wide open.
Nothing even Virgil van Dijk could do to stop Kylian Mbappe, team of the year, heading that one in to the top bins. And it's 1-1, all to play for. This is a free game. The loser is going out.
And you kind of thought that Marcuzo might start to pull away here. Maybe he's going to generate some more opportunities, score some more goals. He got off to a good start, and then he concedes right away, and it's anyone's game.
Great for the neutral, though, perfectly poised for an unbelievable matchup here as Marcuzo gets through. Once you let him get in the box, you're in trouble, and he's done just that. Ruud Hullet, big tackle from Rio Ferdinand, but distribution's poor. He's going to come straight back at him again. Vieira finding Mbappe in space on the right-hand side of the box. Can he get a ball in? How is he allowed to do this? I mean, defending-wise is poor. You'd be really disappointed if you were a coach of Dagnuolf and you're allowing Marcuzo to do this.
And you talked about it. Well, did he do one too many? Did he one too few in terms of some of the La Croquetas? In his first sequence there of La Croquetas, I think he had the angle again, and he went for one extra.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the hit and miss with the La Croquetas if you're going to use them as frequently as Marcuzo.
Good link up here between the two Ronaldos, the two Ronnies, if you like, but Hullet's pass unable to unlock the run of Mbappe.
And your main man, Luka Modric. I feel like that would be a good substitute for Marcuzo. If we can get him on maybe even around halftime, because he loves those 4-star skill moves, he's not able to use Vieira in order to attack that space in the same regard.
We saw a great goal involving two La Croquetas with Modric, scored by Tuga. Oh, it's a low shot against De Gea there, which he saves with his legs. And it's going to be a corner here for Marcuzo, which he takes short. Neymar beats his man with ease. Still Neymar here. How's he getting through? He does it every time. He's going to shoot. No. Big tackle in the end there, but it's history repeating itself. He gets the ball. He almost teases the defender in showing him the ball and just slops it away from him last second.
And that's the goal. If you can get a step, you could draw a penalty kick, or you can go into a secondary skill move, which is also something that Marcuzo has. He knows how to combine La Croquetas, not just with other La Croquetas, but with ball rolls, with heel-to-heels, with fake shots, drag backs, you name it. He has those types of intricate skill move combinations in his locker.
We're watching an onslaught of Marcuzo attacks right now as he finds R9 Ronaldo here, who turns back once and then turns back the other way. Still Ronaldo making his way into the box, showing no respect for the defence. Neymar! Oh, it's off the post! What a chance that was for Cristiano Ronaldo, denied by the woodwork. Marcuzo should really be in the lead.
And you saw him pop a grin, but that was not, he's not happy about that. I mean, that's one of those opportunities you probably finish 49 out of 50 times. It's
Yeah,
open net, tap it in. You and I will convert that.
Defense was beaten, the keeper was beaten. It was the woodwork that stopped him here. And Dagnuolf trying to use that to his advantage now, right before the break. Can he get a shot off? He does! Out of nowhere! Dagnuolf takes the lead. Marcuzo cannot be happy. Look at that. That's a grimace, I'd say. It's not a smile, it's a grimace. Aga in the background there, former world champion and teammate of Marcuzo coaching him. I mean, you're going to be unhappy if you're Marcuzo. He's done a lot of the ball in dangerous areas, mostly in Dagnuolf's defensive half, but he's not made his chances pay.
That one hit him in the chest.
Yeah.
Knocked the wind out of him a bit. It's 45th minute as well.
Great
really kills
score.
the momentum for Marcuzo because it's all Marcuzo going forward.
And Marcuzo's probably just lost the chance, unless he can do something from this free kick to get back in this before the break. He's going to go short on the free kick, playing it into the box, looking for R9. Tackle from Hullet could be enough, or is there time for a goal? Rio Ferdinand to the rescue, and that is the break there. So we're at half-time in the first leg. 2-1 to Dagnuolf here. Marcuzo definitely had more of the ball in the attacking areas. He, if anything, was beating himself in that game with maybe one extra touch in the box or not enough, but we know he's capable of breaking down Dagnuolf's defense.
He was in the dangerous scenarios time and time again. And if I'm August right now, I'm saying, hey, man, just calm down, simplify the game. You don't need 5 of those. Because he opens up the angle to shoot, to score that goal, to convert one La Croqueta, maybe one ball roll following that. He messed up a couple of the simple pleasures, some of the intangibles in FIFA. You can't lose those.
Amazingly, despite it seeming, certainly from my angle, watching the game, that Marcuzo was on top, he's actually had half the shots and less possession. So he was using the ball, he's getting the ball in the territories, but he wasn't really using it. He wasn't really effective with the ball.
Marcuzo is not a possession player. He likes to go forward quickly. But he was in the attacking areas time and time again. You got to think, when you see him dancing and prancing with all these skill moves, that doesn't mean that he shoots the ball.
Yeah.
So even though he's in that dangerous area and he's doing it quickly, he's not necessarily releasing that final shot attempt or putting something on frame.
Ronaldinho has come onto the pitch here. He's been replaced. He's replacing Mbappe, and that's the substitution for Marcuzo, I believe. No, it's for yeah, it is for Marcuzo. Ronaldinho's on the top left of the screen there. You can see him. He's just flipped things around a little bit. Mbappe no longer on the pitch for Marcuzo. He wasn't happy with his performance.
I'm surprised. I mean, he did miss one finish with Mbappe.
Well, it was actually Ronaldo. It was the, what do you mean, the off the post?
No. He missed a finish with Mbappe where he had opened up like an overlapping run. But I am surprised that he took Mbappe out of the game. He just offers you so much in the aerial. I guess
scored a header.
Yeah, he did score a header. Even though Marcuzo hasn't been whipping in a bunch of crosses, your opponent has to respect that Mbappe will get to anything and everything. He chases down any opportunity.
Yeah, he scored the header for Dagnuolf, of course, but for Marcuzo, he did some great work to put that ball in for Ronaldo, which eventually went up against the post. But can Marcuzo level things up? He's still got the ball. It sticks to his boot like glue. But Dagnuolf was able to send things off for a corner as Ronaldinho tries to nutmeg his way through. But Dagnuolf gets the ball back. We're only just over a quarter of the way through this two-legged tie. This is a 3-3 matchup in Swiss format, meaning the loser goes out of the tournament. The winner goes through to the knockout round. The last 32 will be within one round of the last 16, which is where we find out who's going to the Champions League final and who's getting a minimum of $15,000 for their troubles. As Dagnuolf works his way through with his own La Croqueta there, but the shot was tame.
Dangerous rollout there as well from Marcuzo.
Nice from Ronaldo here for Marcuzo. Returns the ball to Neymar. Neymar loses his man easily. There's a ball on for Ronaldo. Vieira positioning was fantastic. He nullified the threat of Neymar and the pass to Ronaldo.
And you can see that Marcuzo's just missing that last pass, the last time, like the last position to shoot on. He doesn't look as decisive when he's attacking. He looks good with some of the skills, but his decisive decision-making is lacking here in this matchup, at least in the first leg versus Dagnuolf.
Marcuzo trying to get back in this, but a good tackle from Rio Ferdinand, who's been a constant defending backup option for Dagnuolf, who's got the ball back from a number of times in that first half. And now Dagnuolf couldn't afford, he can't afford to do that. Cannot afford to kick out. I don't know if he's seen an injury.
Maybe he's feeling some of the pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. There's been an onslaught. Modric is there. We've seen what Modric can do off the bench. But it's going to be Eusebio introduced here, along with Ronaldinho, who he brought on at half-time for Marcuzo. It looks like he's got quite a lot of attacking options on the bench.
And Marcuzo is also playing the 4-4-2, which is the bread and butter for August at the moment. So August, as his coach, maybe told him, hey, it's time to make some swaps. We're going to go with these overlapping runs. We're going to attack, we're going to attack, we're going to attack. And you can see him on the pressure side, too. He's definitely putting Dagnuolf under a lot more pressure when he loses possession.
Yeah, if you're going to have a coach in your corner as well, and who better to have than Aggie Rosenmeyer, who's been around the scene for a long, long time. Eusebio working his way into the box, beats one, beats two. Rafael Varane to the rescue. And I tell you what, that's the difference right now, is Dagnuolf is making that last-ditch tackle every time. Marcuzo's not been getting the shots off. Needs to start testing Dagnuolf's De Gea.
Sounds cliche, but if you don't shoot, you can't score.
Exactly. Doesn't matter how pretty it looks, how many people you can nutmeg, how many croquettes you can do, you've got to get the shots away. And Dagnuolf was very effective at that, because as soon as he got his chance before the first half break, smashed it straight in the top corner. Lovely from Ronaldo, though. He looks for the other Ronaldo, Ramos there. And it has been really good defending. A brick wall at the back for Salve Dagnuolf. Eusebio off the bench for Dagnuolf here. Ruud Gullit running through, makes the other Gullit look an absolute mug. Mbappe back to Neymar. Neymar's going to get a free kick, advantage played. Modric also off the bench. Oh, unlike Modric, a pass has gone astray. Meanwhile, Marcuzo can try and counter here. Lovely turning from Cristiano Ronaldo, but he gave the ball straight to Ruud Gullit. Something for Mbappe to chase here. Keeper keeps hold of it.
FIFA, especially as a competitive title, it's all about timing. And Marcuzo just seems just a tad bit off on a lot of his timing, like you're saying, with an extra touch, an extra skill move, but even with some of his passing, he's not waiting for the players to get into the most ideal position. His build-up seems a little bit rushed.
We're really not seeing a lot of shots from these two players in this second half, but is there going to be a shot here? Heavy touch from R9 Ronaldo, but he's going to get another chance here with Ruud Gullit, who finds R9. Got to be a goal! Oh, you've got to score that. The keeper's guessed the right way. You know, we often criticise the keeper for keeper movement if they go the wrong way. Let's give Dagnuolf some credit there. I thought Marcuzo was going to go top left. If I was moving the keeper, I would have put the keeper there, but they went the other way.
Dagnuolf is hanging on to the ledge here, just holding on to this lead. His defense is bending everywhere, but it hasn't broken down yet. Great goalkeeper movement, and that's not a start to mess with Marcuzo mentally.
And what would you put that down to, that chance there? Terrible shooting or great keeper movement?
A mix of both.
Yeah, a bit of both.
It sounds politically correct, but it's definitely a mix of both.
I'm surprised he went with that angle. I think he thought the other option was more obvious, so I'll mix it up, but the keeper guessed it right.
He also didn't green the finish.
Here we go, chance! Van Dijk, I thought he was going to get there, but De Gea comes through, rolls the ball out of his hands very comfortably. And now Dagnuolf can go up the other end. This is still only the first leg, don't forget. Plenty of time for Marcuzo to get back in this. Only one goal between the two sides, but there's still time in the first leg. Cristiano Ronaldo finds space, get the shot.
Shoot! Marcuzo, shoot!
It's one Lacoqueta too many again, Mike.
He only needed the first one.
Chance here, hit it! There it is! I mean, again, he could have hit that first time.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, he didn't need the fake shot. And we saw that even a couple plays prior, he used an extra fake shot. He doesn't need it.
Is it a case of style over substance with Marcuzo sometimes? And I mean that, and I'm looking at him as a man as well. Look at him, beautiful long hair. He looks the part, but is he actually got what it takes to put it into practice and get the goals?
Maybe it's our fault. We made this Marcuzo. We talk about all his skill moves. We tweet about it. It goes back and forth in the community. People want to see that flair in his gameplay.
Ronaldo coming through here. And what we're seeing from Dagnuolf is much more practical FIFA. He's not trying to look good. He's not trying to look fancy. He's getting the ball and thinking, how do I get it in the net as quickly as possible? Direct. Very direct. Pele whips it in. Chance. De Gea, very important punch there.
Crucial save.
Now, can Marcuzo get a late equaliser in this first leg? It would set up the second leg perfectly.
He's got space to work with.
It's a ball out left. Instead, he plays it to R9, who's closed down by Ramos, but Gullit gets there and plays Ronaldinho. Great first touch from Cristiano. Can he get a shot off? Fantastic.
بالمناسبة اللي ما كانش قاعد ياسر خسر وكده طلع من البطولة.
Ronaldinho trying to find space in the box once again. The Dagnuolf defense is impenetrable.
Marcuzo has a money tattoo on his middle finger, but he is not greening any finishes.
I like it. See what he did there. And it is a good first leg win for Dagnuolf. 2-1 against Marcuzo, who will be disappointed. And if I was in his corner right now, I'd be saying you're not having enough shots. You're doing one too many touches. You're not allowing yourself to, like, at least towards the end there, he started to get the shots off and De Gea was making the saves. if he's guessing the right way, there's not much you can do.
You can guess the right way. You can guess, I guess you can guess the correct direction on some of those situations. You know what it was? When you look at Marcuzo and some of those goalkeeper movements that went in Dagnuolf's favor, I feel like Marcuzo hesitated, but he wasn't hesitating and making an adjustment. He hesitated, didn't know where he wanted to go, and that's where Dagnuolf was like, all right, I'm practical. I know exactly what's going to happen here. I'm shifting to the left. Or I'm very decisive. I'm shifting to the right. And we're not seeing low drivens. We're not seeing some of those timed finishes that I think would help out Marcuzo a lot. Maybe it'll go in his favor a little bit more. Even if you move the goalkeeper, you're not guaranteed to make a save. We've seen nutmegs. We've seen if the shot's right, the shot's right. It'll go under you or it'll go over the goalkeeper, and you get punished, plain and simple. It's a confidence situation. You see it on his face. He doesn't have that focus that we've seen from Marcuzo in the past when you're like, this guy's about to win an event, or potentially he's going to go far. He's going to make a run.
It's all about what Aga is saying to him right now. What can he change? Because we've seen players have completely different performances from the first to the second leg. That's what Marcuzo needs. I mean, from a Dagnuolf perspective, yeah, he's won 2-1. You've got to be happy with that, the way the game went. Took most of his chances. But I don't think we saw enough from Dagnuolf. If I was Marcuzo or Marcuzo's camp, I would be scared. I'd say if I was Marcuzo, I believe I've got what it takes to unlock that defence, because he did it multiple times. He wasn't getting the shots off. The more shots he gets off, the more he can start to figure out Dagnuolf's goalkeeper movement, because it looks like he's quite good at guessing it right now.
And this could turn into a landslide for Marcuzo. He only needs one goal to maybe get this going, because right now he's got to be thinking to himself, every chance that he misses, it's starting to weigh on him, saying, is this going to be one of those games?
Yeah.
Is this going to be one of those matches where I just can't get the bounce? I can't get a rebound. I can't time a finish. Every skill move he gets, maybe he feels like he's being unlucky, where Dagnuolf is making that keeper save, or the defender is stepping in when he shouldn't be, or he should deserve a penalty kick. We saw a couple La Croquetas where it was one of those 50-50 bounces, where it almost bumps chest to chest, no call, but it throws off the play.
Remember back to that first leg, it was moments before Dagnuolf scored what ended up being the game-winning goal that Marcuzo actually hit the post with Ronaldo, and that could have been so different. It could have been 2-1 to Marcuzo. But it is 2-1 to Salve Dagnuolf. And Marcuzo's trying to get an early equaliser here with Ruud Gullit once again, taking one too many touches in the box. And I feel a little bit like Dagnuolf is figuring it out. Got to get those shots off quickly. There it is! R9 Ronaldo makes it 2-2. This is what this game needed, because Dagnuolf has to come and play.
I told you we could see a landslide as well if he got an early goal, because Marcuzo felt like he had the control last game. The mix of the pressure play, the creation of opportunities, just did not convert. He was not clinical. One of the big C's.
Well, he's been clinical there. He's taken his chance with R9. It's 2-2 now. He doesn't look happy about it, but he's back in this game. It's all level. And Dagnuolf is going to have to come and attack Marcuzo now to get back on top. This could open up the game a little bit, as Marcelo runs down the left for Dagnuolf, who's in the blue kit here. Plays it inside to Ruud Gullit. Gullit's got a bit of space in front of him. Oh, it's a first-time shot. Not even facing the goal from R9. Always going to be a challenge to get that one in the back of the net.
That was an ambitious effort.
Vieira, lovely technique on the pass to Cristiano Ronaldo. They play it back and forth with each other, get it to Ruud Gullit here. Gullit back to Cristiano Ronaldo. Mbappe, 1-2s all over the park here. Ruud Gullit with his back to goal. Can he turn? He's opened up the space. Where's the shot? There it is! And that was the Marcuzo we've come to know and love.
Classic Marcuzo, the way that he scoots past his opposition, the extra skill move, waits for the goalkeeper.
بكل هذه البساطة والسهولة، أمال ليه الجيم اللي فات كانت الدنيا خربانة؟
He's going to force, Dagnuolf to start attacking a little more aggressively.
Within minutes of this second leg kicking off, it has absolutely flipped 180. Marcuzo now in the driving seat. You have to say, from watching that first game, it was possible that this could happen. He wasn't getting the shots off. He's added that to his game. He's worked out when the right time to release is, and he's looking good. And we've got to see something from Dagnuolf now. Vieira switches it over to Sergio Ramos for Marcuzo here. Nice little pass into Mbappe. Down the line for Cristiano Ronaldo. Marcuzo loves a 1-2, always looking for them quickly. R9 turns into trouble though.
And Marcuzo's not known as a possession player, so I would be very surprised if he's going to start to set up shop, maybe switching the pitch more often. I don't think that's in his DNA. That's not really in his game plan, especially not this early on.
Yeah, he's going to keep attacking. You can guarantee yourself that. Dagnuolf, though, needs to get these shots off against Marcuzo. His 2 goals last game came from a corner. And there's a chance. We don't know where the keeper was standing, but it was off target. Came from a headed corner, Mbappe putting it in top bins. And then a counter-attack off the back of Marcuzo hitting the post. he went and scored a lovely first-time shot. Can he unlock Marcuzo's defence further here? Virgil van Dijk says no. Gets it to Neymar. Throw in for Marcuzo. He's got a few options, and Marcuzo's not in a rush. Rooted it into Ronaldo. Good ball for Neymar to run onto. Two Brazilians linking up nicely here. Neymar doesn't cut back, which I was expecting. I think he knew that it was expected.
That's one of those 50-50s where you take a gamble. Do you think your opposition is going to play for the cutback or potentially sit back and look for you to attack him with a forward run? He used the fake shot there. You look like a genius when it works, and you look like you made the wrong decision every single time when, of course, it doesn't go in your favor.
We're seeing some great defensive interceptions from both teams here that are nullifying the attacking threats on both sides, but if you really appreciate the defensive positioning, it's good to watch, although that's not good passing from out of the back there. Mbappe flicking it up, Sergio Ramos recovers. And now Marcuzo in the white Copenhagen kit can try and get forward again. Ronaldo, first time pass into his namesake. Once again, Varane gets across for Dagnuolf. Vieira finds Ronaldo. Good first time pass for Mbappe, who scored a goal for Dagnuolf last time. He's dispossessed.
And it's early to start wondering, but if we do wonder, and Marcuzo does progress in this matchup. Oh.
Chance for Marcuzo, maybe to wrap it up. Oh, and he sends the keeper the wrong way.
As I was saying, just throwing it out there, if Marcuzo does win this matchup, he's 4-3.
لا
You
ده
don't want
كده
to see him
قدام
if
دبي
you're
مول
4-0.
خلاص كده جي
If
جي يعني.
Marcuzo is able to come and with his overall package where everything's clicking, he has the ability to create an upset.
Oh, certainly. I mean, and we've seen the difference between him in the first leg and the second leg here. He needed that little bit of time to get into it, and this is one of the reasons we do two-legged games, guys. Watching that first leg, it was clear for us to see that Marcuzo was dominating the play. Maybe not possession-wise, but he was making better attacking opportunities. He wasn't taking them. Come through the second leg, a minor twitch in his gameplay, a little strategic change, and now he's absolutely dominant. Now, it's important to also add to what you said there, Mike, about the seeding. If you're going through the minimum possible wins, which is a 4 and a 3, you're going to come up against someone who's 4-0. Okay, we're looking at Tex, we're looking at Desari, we're looking at Nicholas, we're looking at Maestro. They're the guys that went 4-0, okay? Not necessarily going to come up against them, because obviously there's more 4 and 3s than there is 4 and 0s. However, that could be what we see with Marcuzo if he goes through here. Which of them would you like to see him face the most if he gets through?
Well, I believe that Marcuzo, if he had a choice, would take Maestro out of the 4.
Right.
Just favorable styles. I think that's a good style clash. We'd get some entertaining FIFA. Both guys like to go forward.
Of course, Salve Dagnuolf still has something to play for here. He needs to score 2 goals. He's not seen enough of the ball and had enough chances to convince me of the fact he's going to do it. But there's plenty of time, 60 minutes of FIFA time left to be precise. It's Marcuzo on the ball here, looking to add to his lead. One more goal would surely wrap it up for him. Mbappe on the ball, and we don't see him cross that often, Marcuzo. He likes to work his way into the box, and he does it unbelievably well. Why cross when you can do that? And Aggie gives him a little pat on the back, and he deserves it. And Marcuzo's not looking delighted. I think he's still annoyed about that first leg performance, but that was premium.
He just waits that out so well. He's doing all these skills because he needs him to player switch in that situation. So he's not just doing La Croquetas to do them. He's waiting for a player switch, shoots him out of position. It's just such an easy goal at the end of it, but I'd love to rewatch that with you guys. What he's looking for there is he's basically trying to bait a player switch, and he does just that. He now extends his lead, and you got to be thinking, is this it? Is this a done deal?
I'm not sure Dagnuolf's got what it takes to get back in this, to be honest. He's come up against, in this second leg at least, a Marcuzo in full flow, and he looks dangerous. And I called it myself and said he's not going to cross it, right? When you know that he's not going to cross it, that's one thing, but it's not so easy to stop it. Because what I rate about that is, of course, there's an art in the cross as well, and you're looking to find the perfect ball and find a big man in the back, but it's less buttons to press ultimately. You know, it's 1, it's 2. When you're doing what he did there, the combination of moves he's putting together, especially in the manual defending element, is a lot more to put in, isn't there? A lot more input from the player, a lot more skill involved.
Absolutely. And this just in, we're going to be switching games. We've got Andoni facing off against Dulsta, 1-1, second leg. Everything to play for. One goes home, one progresses, the dream's still alive.
Yeah, we're going to jump over to that game then, because this one looks like it could be finished, especially if Marcuzo finishes that one 5-2 up. So let's jump over to Dulsta versus Andoni, the US player versus the Spanish player.